I'm not sure if you guys have been keeping up to date with the latest trends, but as you guys can probably tell through Instagram shorts, through just the overall direction of cinematography, we are heading in a very retro looking cinematic feel. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of people posting film grain, a lot of halation, just like retro film looks to all of their footage. With that all being said, we're going to be taking a look in a plugin called Dehancer. Dehancer actually offers two separate types of products. One is for photos and then one is for video. We're going to be taking a look at the video plugin today. This plugin should work with like Final Cut Pro, Premiere, or DaVinci. Today I'm going to be using it in DaVinci Resolve. I've had about a month to play around with Dehancer, make a couple cool edits with it. Rather than just giving you guys a review, I wanted to hop in to DaVinci. I put a little edit together from my trip to Thailand, and yeah, giving you guys an in-depth review of Dehancer. So with that all being said, let's jump right into it. So guys, before the video, I actually made this little quick 20-second edit from Thailand. It's nothing crazy. I just pulled a song from a music bed and I threw in a couple cool shots. So let's go ahead and play this before we go through the edited version. So that's just raw footage, guys. I shot that on the Sony FX3 and S-Log3. And then this is what it's probably going to look like after we edit it. So with that all being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into Dehancer and check this thing out. So guys, you're not actually going to be going to the color tab. You're actually just going to be going straight to the effects tab. And then you'll find Dehancer. I'm using 7.2.1. Then you're just going to basically drag Dehancer onto the image. Now, you guys can probably already see that it's already made a difference. It's already doing something to the image as I'm turning it off and on. And it's already giving us like a film style film look. Now, what I had to do is I had to go ahead and download a few different source files, or I had to go into their website and let them know that I wanted to use S-Log3 as the input. And that is what I end up doing. So what you'll do is you'll come into here and you're going to click choose camera, and then the vendor, once you download the additional vendors, you see that I have Sony. So then you can actually go as far as picking the actual camera that you shot, and they literally have like every single camera in here, at least all the ones that I own. They even have the FX30, FX3. We can go to FX3, and then we got format S-Log3 Gamma 3. So, and then you'll be able to edit like the exposure, the temperature comp. You'll be able to change the tint, the defringe, and also the defringe radius. I'm sorry. You can even go ahead and defringe enabled or disabled. So that is pretty cool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and reset those, and I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of get this correct really quickly. I like it to probably keep it a little bit warmer because it's during the sunset. I'd say that the white balance it was pretty close to what it needed to be in terms of accuracy. And we'll go ahead and move on from the input. So then the next big change is going to be the film. And guys, really what Dehancer allows you to do is duplicate these old film styles. So we have a bunch of styles from Kodak. We have a bunch of styles from Polaroid. We have a bunch of styles from Lomachrome. And yeah, there's a bunch of different color profiles or looks that we can choose from. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Kodak look. So we're going to go ahead and choose something from this Kodak. But as you guys can see, there's a bunch of different film looks that you guys can go ahead and choose from. And you can play around with the different color looks and all that good stuff. So I'm actually a pretty big fan of this one right here. the Kodak Vision 350D. I think it brings out some of the real life colors, but also giving it a film look. Again, this is just personal opinion. And then you can actually even push and pull the effect. So you can see as I drag it more to the right, it's going to make it more grainy, make it look more like the actual Kodak Vision 3. Then as I pull it back, there's less. So we're going to keep it, we're just going to kind of drag it up a little bit, enhance the effect a little bit, and then that's it. And as you guys can see what it's doing, this is without it enabled, and then that's with it on. And I really, really like the color scheme of that, okay? Now, the next option we're gonna have is gonna be this film developer. And what we can do here is we can boost the color by pushing this up. We can change the gamma correction here. Actually, it's not moving because I don't have it enabled. So as you see, I'll turn it up, it'll boost the color. We can change the gamma correction here. We can change the color separation, and then we can also boost the color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just boost the color a little bit, really pull out them orange and them sunsets. And then let's just keep this contrast boost, you know, right about where it's at. And I'm liking the look of that already. Kind of getting rid of the contrast a little bit, but boosting the colors. Actually, you know what? Let me just turn that up a little bit more. There we go. You know what? It's a little bit too much. You just play with it, and you guys can see what it's doing. Very subtle difference, but I like the difference there, okay? So these are going to be really the three main effects before you start really getting into all of these add-ons. For example, like film grain, like halation, like the film damage. We can also mess around with the film breath. You get all these extra options here. But just to kind of like cut to the chase and really kind of add on some very popular effects that you're seeing on Instagram and you're seeing, you know, across the board in the film world right now, is a lot of people are playing around, number one, with the film grain. Okay, and as you see that we have options from, you know, 8mm all the way up to 65mm at different ISOs. I'm just going to keep it at 35mm ISO 250. That's a pretty standard film grain effect that we're going to throw that on top. And then of course you can't go without halation. Halation is very popular right now within the film world, so I'm going to turn on that halation, and I'm actually going to turn it up a little bit more. You guys can see that there's like a little glow effect now around the highlights right here, really kind of emulating that look, that film look. And actually, you know what, let's go ahead and add on some of this bloom to just kind of, you know, keep the highlights looking blurred out. This effect is pretty much like mirroring like a mist filter type look on top of the image. And then of course we could go ahead and damage the film, which I'm just going to keep that off. I don't really personally like the look of you know, damaging any sort of film. We'll keep all those other things off. Now, guys, that is pretty much going to be the color grade and the look that I, you know, am happy with on the image. So as you guys can see, this is the before image, just a straight up S-Log3. And then as I turn it on, we got Dehancer Pro. You'll see that it's literally completely graded. We got the halation in there. We got the film grain, just like a really good film look. And actually, I think the colors look pretty damn good. Especially, you know, since we're not going through an entire grid, we're just really going through the effects tab in DaVinci. One other big plus of this application, and something that I've been using, just kind of testing it out over the last few weeks, which is actually going to be the overscan. So this, guys, is going to allow us to put like a crop on the image. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of this on Instagram, specifically shorts. And then we have all these different options with the gate type. We can change, you know, to a widescreen. We can change to you know, this look right over here. Then we could even go as far as like cropping out this image and just taking it this part of the image. We also have the gate shape, so we can change the edges right around here. We have the performation mode, okay? And then we also have the film orientation, which we could go vertical or we could go horizontal. It's looking really cool. Now, one thing I should mention, guys, is that if you're going to be using Dehancer, I think it's probably better to finish your entire film on the timeline and then using Dehancer once you're completely chopped, you're 100% happy with it, and it's like your final step. Because unlike color grading in DaVinci or color grading in Premiere, it gets very hard on the computer. So like, as you guys can see, I'm playing it back. It's very laggy because the effects that are being applied through this onto the overall image are pretty strong. So once you kind of like narrow down the look, I would almost say it's probably best to just kind of duplicate this look. And a way that we can do that in DaVinci is we can actually come down here and we can copy it, and then we can go to the next images and we can just right click, and what we'll do is we're going to just click paste attributes. We're going to select this, and then really all we want to select here is going to be the plugins. Okay, so I'm just going to deselect. Let me just redo this. I'm just going to click plugins here. We're going to go ahead and apply, and then now all of these images should have a similar look. Now, of course, when you guys are shooting different images, we're going to have to make color corrections. We're going to have to make some changes. So let's just go ahead and do that together. So just moving into the first clip, obviously we're right off the bat, we're overexposed. So let's just go into the Dehancer. Let's pull down that exposure. Okay, I think that we should probably bring up the, bring down that black point. Okay, bring up the white point, but more importantly, we're going to need to change the contrast. So I'm just going to go ahead and boost that contrast a little bit, and that's already looking good, similar to the last one. I like that. That looks good. That looks good. And let's go and just kind of keep correcting on all of these images. Let's go ahead and pull down the black point, pull up the black point. It's looking good. Pull that up. I like the look of that. Moving to the next one. And you know what? Another thing that I found is that if these shots are all the same, then what we can actually do is do what we did earlier. We're just going to copy that, and let's just try to paste the attributes just like we did before. Now, one thing here is that this is actually a different camera. So what we could do is we could go back in here and we could find DJI. There we go. And let's just, it's not the Action 2. We're going to look for the Mavic Air. No, what is it? We're gonna look for the drone. So the drone is the Avata 2. I don't think they have it in here, but it's probably gonna be the closest to one of these Mavic series. So let's just go Mavic Air. Okay, that's already looking probably closer to what it needs to be. And then let's just kind of pull that black point up. Let's pull this white point down a little bit. I'm liking the look of that. So let's go ahead and copy that as well. And let's do the same on this. Let's go ahead and paste the attributes. And we're going to apply that. All right, so that was pretty much how quickly we color graded this entire thing. Color grading is very subjective in terms of what you guys like, what you guys see. I am by no means a professional colorist. I just really like the look of duplicating this film style. And Dehancer definitely helps you guys do that, especially if you don't have a lot of prior color grading experience. You can just really kind of jump in there, throw in some of the presets, throw on one of these overlays, and you have a pretty cool looking vintage look. Again, this is by no means a #1 fix-all solution, but I think it's a pretty cool software, especially if you guys are looking to emulate a look just like this. If you guys are interested in picking up Dehancer, I'll actually put a link down in the description, as well as a referral code so that you guys can pick this software up for yourself and test it out. I think they also even offer trials, so you can try this on some of your footage, see if you like the overall effects. Again, I didn't cover every single tab in here. There's a lot of tabs and a lot of different things that you guys can do that I also did not kind of cover in the video, but I just really wanted to cover what I would personally do with Dehancer, and I was able to accomplish that in today's video. In addition, guys, I just dropped a course on how to start making money as a full-time filmmaker down in the description. It's going to be called creatorhead.io. You guys can get some more information there, but if you guys are a up-and-coming videographer and you're looking to make money, I teach all of the business aspects on how you can take your business from 0 to 10, 20, 30, or even $40,000 per month. We'll show you guys step by step. Take a look at that down in the description as well. And guys, as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, guys, peace out.